Mm.
Got room there. I'll stay there. I mean, it hurts me to know that he is so out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Completely out of it.
Mm.
And then he said that the lawyer's going to call him at 4 o'clock this afternoon to tell him if they got to get someone to fix up some papers for New York. Well, they lawyers do that. Lawyers always got to have
You know
somebody
what he
to
was
help them.
expecting to happen? You know what
Huh?
you know what he had expected to happen at this time?
What?
That the case would be settled.
Who?
That's what Falak thought. That's what all of it. I mean, that's what I was told. Remember?
Yeah, well,
But
he got
that,
another.
but I'm gonna tell you, that's what he was expecting to be the case, and
Mhm.
it did not happen because that's not what Allah had decreed. God decrees. His decree is the strongest decree. Nobody can do anything about that decree. Only him. He can change whatever he wants to change, whenever, however he wants. Nobody else. So, really, with all of that effort, and I told the lawyer, I even asked the lawyer at the very beginning when I first signed him up, I said to him, isn't it better that we at least make an application right here in the state of New York, being that this was the state of New York matter? This happened in the state of New York already. And he goes, yeah, but I don't know what his last address was. So I left it alone. I left it
Well,
alone. But the point is that, when the conference call came and he did, they did what it is that they did, ambushing the brothers, incorporated brothers. I mean, like, really just tossing me under the bus, stabbing, just tossing, execution style, really, chop them up. And what were their reasons? Well, at the end of the day, their reasons, which is going to be the same that I experienced in the corporation and the small business sectors, the discrimination today is the discrimination of how you think, how you subscribe to live your life. People are more intimidated about your beliefs than they actually about the color of your skin or the color of your home. So their reason or their rationale at the time, we don't want the Quran. We don't want nothing to do with the Quran. We don't even want it mentioned. But you buried him a Muslim. His mother was a Muslim. His father was a Muslim. And they both died as Muslims. So what are you talking about? So at this point, and that's why I got in touch and I was like, what's going on? But now you're saying that he actually stole the papers. He stole my papers out of your apartment. So
well,
that's what you told me.
they're missing.
Hmm. And the three
They
hundred and
can't
fifty.
find.
Did he find the $350?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was hidden somewhere under some papers or and like somebody just automatically missed it, right?
No, I put them in between. I have a cot here, a cot bed, a cot, and I had put them in between the mattress, and I had a cover over it. That was a new place that I put things now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was told not to put things in a new place
Well,
because
Granny, so you definitely did. I mean, you're my sweetheart, Granny. When it comes to things like that, probably want to make sure that you only have one, two places, because otherwise, you will lose your mind over it.
you gotta put them in the same
And
place.
if that's what I
You can't.
that's what I said. That's what I'm
But
telling you. I learned that the hard way. I had to learn that the hard way. But yeah, but the paper. Hopefully, if that's the case, then can I get? I mean, hopefully, you know, if that's the case, I would love to have my papers one day. I mean, I know for sure, and you know for sure, I left it right there. So
yeah, you did. Yes,
exactly.
you did.
Okay.
I'm still looking.
No,
I
well, like I said, I mean, you know, the problem, and I mentioned to you that before, I said they don't hate who I am necessarily. They don't hate me as a brother to them somehow, right? But they are against the Quran. And that's something that they're going to have to come to terms with about themselves, because if you are against the Quran because of the fact that you don't know the Quran, that's one thing. I don't know the Quran. I'm not familiar with it. That's one thing. But when it comes to it, to where you say I know the Quran is from God the Creator, it's a different story altogether. For you to say that, I bear witness that there's only one worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, you're testifying your testimony. The Quran is speaking on that behalf too. You're speaking on that, and which comes from the all creator, the one creator that, you know, I have no doubt that this Quran is from you. So how can you turn around and say I don't want it? I mean, who in their right minds? I mean, just think about it. Let's say we're talking about the Bible, the original Bible as it was revealed. We know that that is from God the Creator. Why wouldn't we look into what God the Creator said, right? He knows everything. We don't know. He knows. We don't plan. Well, we do plan, but He has the better plan. See what I'm saying? So why would we say that this is, and then we don't want it? We know this is true, but we don't want it. And that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. And there's not, that's not, that's his Quran. That's not my Quran. That's number one. You see what I mean? That's his Quran. That's not my Quran. He promised he would do by his Quran what he promised. And anybody who knows better would accept that. So it's not for me, or any other person. It's only for him. Does what he wants by that. And clearly, it's just so he went broke after volunteering, or he went broke after trying to write his book, or trying to get in touch, with some network in Africa in order to build his mini empire.
All I can say is I'll be glad when it's over. Very glad when it's over.
Well, Granny, technically, it already is. Technically,
but I just be glad when it's over.
It's
So
it's
this, this back and forth.
Technically, I mean, it already is over. Really, it is, because when we stop to think about it, the decree of God decreed prior to the world even being created. That's the truth. He was well ahead of any of his creation. He was the first. So, the point of the matter is that when we put our trust in one creator, that's it. That is it. That is it. We know for a fact that he's going to do with it.
Representing the family, though. So, Balak told me he would call me this afternoon or tomorrow to let me know what the lawyer says.
Never mind. I mean,
going to do it here in New York, and that's it.
Well, see,
they can't find no address where he lives in Jersey.
Yeah, well, that much we knew. We knew that 2 weeks ago. We knew that because we got in touch with the lawyer. The lawyer, we filed until he responded. We did that. So the point of the matter is, you're not telling us anything new. Not you per se, but not you, but I mean, like, I'm saying he's not saying anything new because I had talked to the lawyer before the lawyer talked to him. So I already knew the deal. So that's, what my concern is right now at this moment, what he's going to do being broke. This is my main concern. What you say he broke, right?
He's broke. He don't have no money.
Okay, that's my concern right now. That's what I'm worried about right now.
You have money to give him?
Granny, I got $50. I could send him that. I could send it to you so you can send it to him. I don't mind. I'll put it in the mail today, tomorrow.
I don't mean anything, but I mean, you both have been here in this country since when? 20 or 25 years.
Well, it's
And,
actually
and just
27.
don't have
Well,
a place to call home.
Granny,
Don't
Granny
have
dear,
no money.
Granny
This
dear,
is
Granny,
insane.
Granny dear, correction, okay? For us, it's been 27 years. Rashid, it's been 28 years, or 27 and some change. Uh, this one over here, this one, Fallon, it's been over 30 years, Granny. 30 years.
And you
This
don't
is
think I should feel hurt behind it?
Granny,
With all you all put
Granny.
together, you don't have $5,000 in the bank.
Wait a second, Granny. I didn't say we didn't have. I didn't say I didn't have access to $5,000. I did not say that. I said I got $50 I can send. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. But the point of the matter is the point I'm trying to make clarity on, and hope that I'm concerned about him being broke. I want to make that very clear. That's at the end of the day, that is still my brother. Although I labeled him a liar. I labeled him, and we, not just me. I didn't label him. That's what he showed. That's what his actions showed. All 30 years worth of it, for you at least. I can't. So practically, in a sense, why it's a concern is because of the fact that what I said to you yesterday is what I'm going to say to you again today. Because he believes that his success, and it's not abnormal. By the way, a lot of people depend on money for being their sole purpose of success. It's not just him. That's not, uncommon. But it creates a lot of greed, and it creates a lot of friction, because it is just a show. It's just a show. Look at Will Smith and all his years, and look how everything just starts going down the drain because he walked on top of the stage and slapped somebody. That should wake up a lot of people today. Black America today should wake up because of that alone, especially our youth. But he's 50 now. Just look at that. He's 50.
Crazy. It's crazy. And it hurts me to know that, I mean, land of opportunity and don't even have a place to call. It just hurts me. I just want him to get an apartment and just go on about his business. I really do. I really do. I have very little to say to him. I stay in my room. Very low, because it hurts. The land of opportunity. They only don't have. I just can't believe it. And it's real. I see it with my own eyes.
Granny.
Someone asked me, "Are you disappointed in your grandchildren?" I said, "Yes, I am.
Granny.
Yes, I am."
Granny.
Look at that other his best man. Look at him.
Granny.
He's a born Muslim. He didn't just pick it up or study it. He born Muslim. Came here, got a house. His wife worked. I mean, it's just I don't know. I just don't know. Some people can be fanatics and just go out. It's just.
I mean, at the end of the day, again,
how he was brought up and what he saw and what they were involved in over there. But my God, you come here, you want to improve yourself.
Actually, I called you about some good news, Granny. I didn't want to, call you and disrupt you about any of this. You brought them up, but I'm gonna tell you something about that too. I mean, we were raised in the same household with him, right? But and this is probably gonna lead into the good news. We were raised in practically, well, we spent 3-4 years there. I'm not going to say that, we spent our entire time in Africa there, because that's not what happened. And I'm going to have to tell the story exactly how it happened one day, because I'm a witness to the whole thing. And it's like an Oliver Twist story. Like, we got adopted by his father, who was a rich person. but connected. He was connected to to a Sufi order. And because of the fact that he was connected to a Sufi order, he was taking us like, these are my children. But when the chain of the Sufi order broke from Umi, I was the only one that was called to translate, to clarify what that was all about. And that was between his father and Umi. His father, AKF, and Umi, my mother, or our mother, I should say. Rahmatullahi alayha. Rahmatullahi alayhima. And really, his father was, I mean, until today, he still has property and the kids are running it. He has a lot of children. I mean, Umi asked him when she first came, how many children do you have? It seems like you have a whole camp here. He said, including your children. 34. That was back then. And, so he actually sent and he paid for their schooling here. He paid, for him and his brother and his cousin. He paid for their schooling here. He was able to do that. But of course, we as a matter of fact, when it was time for them to come over here, we were already out of that household. Falak was already back here at that time. So Falak had a head start over him, because they came here from after high school. Falak came before they graduated high school. And, he's an engineer. And I've had I mean, he's a brother of mine. He's really my brother. We call each other brothers. I call all of them, my siblings, because at one point we were adopted. But when that chain broke in the Sufi order, practically, it's like we probably should do a documentary about it. I went back the most amount of times and I was rejected the most amount of times by his father. So it was really an Oliver Twist story. And the last time I remember, I was about 17, 18 years old. And I think I did put it in one of my books, Fortresses of a Business Mind, as a matter of fact, but I didn't go into that much detail about it. I didn't explain, the background. But when his father, the last time his father sent me away, practically kicking me out, because he had like mood swings. I think according to American standard, he had to have been, but he was powerful, he was rich, but he would have mood swings. So sometimes he was really humiliating. As a matter of fact, the elder male siblings stay away from him, and when they wanted something from him, they would send one of the smaller kids so that they would get a test of whether he was happy or not. In fact, they never went by themselves, like the adolescent, like him today. And I asked him, I said, why was that? He said, because he was just really humiliating. When he was angry, you knew him. He was really humiliating. I was 17 because I decided to just stick around and see how many times, or make sure that I got the whole, knit of the story, which is probably why it's all about that today. But just imagine, I get, he sends me away. No, and when he's in his mood swings, he says the word. He just says a word and he does an insinuation, and that involves his arm in the air. He does a clip of the fingers, and his index finger is pointing to the heaven, and it's telling you, get out of here, go away. And as a matter of fact, he reinforces it. He reinforced it with Abdurrahman, and I remember he reinforced it with me. And when he reinforced it with me, it was like he sent one of his wives to ask him why I was still in the house. He sent me away. Why are you still here? Make sure he understands that he's been sent away. But when that happened, Granny, I got on the bus, and as I'm sitting there, I said, this is messed up. I said, at one point I was sitting on this man's lap, I was eating dinner and lunch with him. He was smiling at me. Now this man, he's really sent me away. And he's the only one I really knew as a father at that time. I had learned, the culture there. I'd learned the basics of the reading and writing there, so many years back. I had learned French with his family, with him. He had a tutor who would come and teach us French, and that was the same teacher that we had at the camp, the gendarmerie camp. And when I sat on the bus, I said, I know he's not my father. He's not my biological father. I said, but I've never seen my biological father, so I couldn't even pick him out of a group. I couldn't even pick him out of a lineup. He's never seen me. I've never touched him. I said, this was the man that I knew as my father. And I came here to learn Quran. And by that time, I had completed the Quran. By that time, I really did complete the Quran. Because I was 17, and that was really the mark of Alhamdulillah when I completed. I said, you know what? The only one listening to me right now is Allah. He's the only one listening to me. He's the only one who knew all of this. I said, I need a father figure because I am a male and I have been rejected from my adopted or now he's, and I've never seen my biological, but Allah knows my biological. I said, you know what? You raised me, Lord. I said, Allah, you raised me. You raised me. So, from here on out, I'm your child. And, it's been a very, very, informative, or informative is actually short selling it. But it's been very impactful all throughout this entire time. It's been very impactful because if you think about it, 27 years ago, people, first of all, teaching Quran, being involved in a Quranic profession today in the United States is very unpopular. But imagine 27 years ago. Today, you can walk into a masjid and ask how many people here actually are Quranic professions. You will not have more than 3 hands raised up. At least here in Richmond, Virginia, you can have a whole masjid full of people, male, female. Well, I'll just stick with the male. I won't even go into the female, but I'll just stick with the male. But now if you ask how many doctors you have a lot of people raising their hands. How many, how many business owners do you have? A lot of people raising their hands. How many are in politics? A lot of people raising their hands. How many in the state? A lot of people. County? A lot of people. But the point of the matter is, as Muslims, as believers in Allah, that this is the word of His, and that Muhammad is His messenger and was His servant, it is absolutely dangerous to not adhere to what the Prophet said. And what he said was the best of professions, the best of careers is the one who is involved in the Quranic career. This is the real meaning behind the best among you is he who learns the Quran and teaches it. That means by action, that means by character, that means by application, that means by practicing, that means by producing. There's so many different, it's not just about memorizing and reciting, but it's about shaping your character by the word of your Creator. And there's nothing better than it. There's nothing better than it. So, I mean, and you came to my first wedding, didn't you? You were there at my first wedding. And you saw, where was it? It was there where I had been placed to lead the entire community at that time, during the Ramadan. And this was back then, at least 23, 24 years ago. So I've been in it, and now I'm full-time in it. I'm fully fledged in it. and it takes a while. And you know what? I want to say this last point. It takes a very long time to get any business established. You started it from scratch. Yes, it's going to take a minute. I'm not talking about a business that you just bought and you already know that this has been business and whatever, you took it over from there. No, a business in which you are the first. You're like, your products are the very first one there on the market. It's going to take you a very long time to get that up. So the doctor is going to go to school for about 35, 40 years before they really start to make good on their money that they're making. Because before that, they're going through what, kindergarten or preschool and elementary school, middle school, high school, junior college, university, medical school. What are we missing? Residency. Then you got to do a specialty. You may be able to do that. Then you got to sit for your board. It's a long process.
So that's what they want to do.
That's not all that they do. Really, what they want to do, and I have a quote actually written out. Before, doctors used to care about the people. Now they care about the property.
Well, let me say this to you. Alec said that he has a home in Florida.
Wow. Okay.
This is what tells me that he has a house there.
But
He had it on the GI Bill.
that's a wonderful. I mean,
And the mortgage. He has it rented out.
no, he's got to rent it out. You know what? That really takes a big load off my chest because I was concerned that he's broke. But as long as you got property, you can't be broke. And I'm glad I brought up the property part because
what I'm saying is, I hope he sells that before he comes here because he's got to pay a month's rent.
Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. When did he get the house though? Because if the house doesn't have any equity in it, and the only rent that he's collecting on it, he's paying it for the mortgage. It's like, you're like breaking even. So you got to do something other than you're not able to sell it because it. I mean, even if you sell it, you're not going to get any money.
What he has to tell me, that's all. I'm really not. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. It's not even right. It's not even right.
It's the point that I'm finished.
I know.
I thought enough, and I'm finished.
I know, Granny.
But if he has, I'm just saying, if he has the house, because I don't have a penny to give him, I have nothing to give no more. There's no more crumbs on the table. If he sells the house, it's coming because he's got to pay a month's rent, a month's security, and he's got to buy some kind of furniture. So he's got to get money from somewhere. And I'm gonna tell him that when he call me too.
No, Granny, he should. He's 50 years old though, Granny. He's 50 years old. I wouldn't even go that deep into it. Just let it be. Just let it be. That's what I would do. Leave it to the Lord who created us all. It's over. I'm able to talk to the lawyer. He's able to tell me what's going on with the case. That's why I told you before. I'm not really all up into those papers anyway, like that per se at this point. Just let it be. Allah will solve this. He's already taken care of it. I'm not even.
Like I said, with the case, I'm finished.
Just let. No, it's
anything else. I am finished.
No, don't worry about. Don't worry about a thing. Just subhanallah.
Don't let Alec have no more money because I don't want to hear no more about that. You see, if you offer money.
Listen, see, and I mean, see, and that's the thing.
If you offer him money, he's not asking you.
What I'm.
Then there's nothing. You shouldn't have nothing to say about it.
No.
You don't get back.
No. Well, see, here's all I know. Okay, what I know is that he got locked up, and we bailed him out. And when he came out, I made sure it was clarified to him that I did not have what I actually gave him, but it was a trust that he would have to repay. And he understood that. And then he skipped out on the deal. So I know that much. And I mentioned to you after After that little ambush there with the with the lawyer conferences, I was like, yeah, okay, I will not trust him with a pair of socks. I won't be able to talk to him about trust at all. What I will trust if he is broke, because that's the word that if that concerns me that he's broke, I will still send him $50. Okay, but I will not give that type of commitment like I've given before because that one was different. And twice I got burnt. It's like the first time, shame on him. The second time, shame on me. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I'll send him $50,
That's
but
better.
I will not know, Granny. It's, he,
Better.
and
You
that this
say
is
first.
all in this, and the last thing I'm going to say about it, really, this was all in the works. This was all in the works. There's nothing in which, is hidden to him who created us. And there's nothing that he cannot do. So that's all there is. I'm not, Granny. I mean, I got a very, very, very good business going by his grace and his mercy. I'm thriving in that. It is very uncommon. We're coming out with new ways for, education, new ways for information that were kept away from our people and made fun of because of that. But Black America, second to white America, is the richest minority in the United States. I mean, what does that tell you? People have to wake up and stop counting on others to do and do for themselves. What in the world? And that's the greatest news. That's the greatest business. The greatest news right now for me is that finally I can see, I understand that this message from Allah is no joke, and it is the best to work by. It is the best to count on. I'm seeing it now. And and I told you, as I mentioned to you before, even the stock market situation, and I thought about it. I said, uh-huh. And I tried to tell him. He said, look at what I got in the stock market. I said, yeah, okay. You committed that much? He said, yeah. I said, I wouldn't do it. I said, I said, well, actually, I did ask him one other question. I said, if you committed this much, you have to have 3 times in your bank account. If you committed this much to the stock market, you have all these stocks, $3,000 worth of stocks in different accounts, you have to have 3 times that amount in reserves. If you don't want to lose, you have to learn what your appetite is. So you know that when you're hungry, what it feels like. But he didn't listen. He didn't listen. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be people. You cannot force people to listen to you. People can either listen or they cannot. They can, that's up to them. You cannot impose anything on people, not even for them to listen to you. People are born free, and Allah Ta'ala created them to live free and to die free. That's the best. What can be better than that? It's very simple. So, I hope the best again. I'm able to talk to the lawyer. He's blocked. He's blocked me because obviously when he came back and he realized the case is not settled, that's when he said, "Okay, now I was like, "Hey, bro, I mean that's just what it is. It's no problem, but I got bigger things to do. I mean, I've already been involved in bigger things anyway. I've been asked by the I've been asked by the Hibs Foundation. This is the best way I can term it right now. Like this Quran education right now, it's mostly thriving. It's mostly thriving in the boarding schools in Africa, and I've been asked to come and head one out there. I've been asked to do that. Name your conditions. Name your salary. That's a mercy from Allah. You don't even ask for a resume anymore, no application. No, just name your conditions and name your salary. See, that's just by one word. That's just by 1 year's worth of hard, pure. It's managerial. It is informational. It's definitely part of MBA and MSIT. Definitely, definite. I mean, it's part of that, but the basis of it came from education, Quranic education, and that's not that's well, that is in this sense like that. To get that type of a call is a shock, right? But that's not going to be the last call. That much I can tell you. that much I'm positive of. I think that's just the beginning. That's that's what I believe. That is exactly what I believe, and I kid you not. I pray for Abdurrahman, I pray for Rashid, rahimahullah, I pray for Umi, I pray for Isa, and I pray for Falak. And I pray for all of the family. All of the family. Those whom I know and those whom I do not. So, that's big in itself. That's huge. Be thankful for that. That's the best way.
He was counting on his Social Security too. That didn't come through.
You told me that.
In the bush.
You told me that, and that's Allah.
You didn't count on nothing.
No, I definitely, and you know.
Your hand. That's what's important.
Hmm. And by the way, when things were really down and damp for him back then, and his wife got on the phone and said he's pretty damaged, take him in, Fatah. That's what she said to me. And
what?
I said when he was down, he was really, really, really down. Was it right after was it after he got out? After he got out of jail? I'm not sure if it was either before or after he got out of jail. This was back 2000, it had to be 2010, 2011. He was down.
What did Janelle say to you?
Janelle said, take him in, Fatah. He's really down. And he came here. He came to Virginia. And he stayed for a couple of days. And he saw exactly what I had going on. Or what was going on, he saw what was going on. And, I mean, but the point of the matter is that I think actually it was before the bailout. It was before the bailout. I think the bailout happened later. So now it's a completely like, okay, if he is, it's a concern. I hope him the best. If he needs $50, I'll be happy to, if he's really broke out. I mean, it's $50. That's the family code, $50. And but that's it. As far as trust, I can't even mention the name or the term along with the name. I can't match the term to the name, and that's bad. And I thought about what you said when he came back. You asked him, if he had gone, if he had seen the brother, and they were together in Africa, but that's all he said, right? You said they were. He said you said that Falak told you that they were together in Africa, and that's it. That's all he said. That was the end of it. That was the end of it. And he knows, and I know exactly why. He didn't have anything going on. He doesn't have anything going on. That's the problem. And people, it can be your childhood friend, it could be your own sibling. If it gets to a point where you have things going on, you can't be, you can't be in the company much long with people who don't have nothing going on. He has nothing going on. So this guy is a millionaire. He's a millionaire. I mean, the house, he's a millionaire. I can tell. He doesn't have to tell me how much that house is worth. But, you always have to multiply the value of the house by at least 3 in the state in order to be able to afford the house. So if that house is worth, and definitely worth in that area maybe $800,000. There's no way
I don't think that mother will have anything else to do with him.
Mm. I wouldn't, I would not doubt that because I spoke to him when I came back. I spoke to him and I spoke to his mother.
I expected him to say, when I go to Florida, we'll go, we'll visit each other, nothing.
Yeah, that's just, that's life. He's about something and this guy's broke.
Well, people don't have time for foolishness.
It's
It's either or.
it's either or.
Either or. My
That's just
brother seems to, he appeared to be altogether different than what God is about.
and that's another thing. There's some Africans, and not just Africans, okay? African American, or I should say, because English is definitely his second language, a third language. English is his third language because in Africa, you have the local language, then you have the national language, and the national language there is French. So you go from the local language, and then you go to the national language, and he did high school in the national language. America, when he came to America to live in America, this was definitely his start. He wasn't born here. So you have those who come here in that fashion, and they definitely, you know, make it all the way up to the ladder somewhere. And some of them are really, high up in status with their own businesses and stuff of that nature. I mean, they set their goals and they went for it in that way. Um, but you don't, not every single individual, but there's a belief core that comes with that. There's a reason why those who do, they have a code that they adhere to and make it in that manner. You have no code. You have no moral, and I'm gonna have to use the word moral code. That's the problem. Anybody who's tried to help, you've burnt them. And I'm saying that from, firsthand experience. Sad, but it's true. That's all. Truth hurts, but will set us free. I tell that to the students all the time. The truth hurts, but will set us free. That's that. So it's gonna be all right. And again, I just, I leave it up to the Creator, and I don't know what's gonna happen from moment to moment. I don't know what is happening within my own soul. And the one who does know, he's the only one that I will entrust on knowing, because for sure he knows. But other than that, I just go about my job, and that is to be a testament of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We a testament. We witness.
When you have a son like he tells me his son never had a job.
What?
Push the boss.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, and I got last wind of it. My younger daughter finished her college degree. She's the first of the daughters to get her college degree, which is nice. She got it last, and of course, that's a whole nother topic, right? But of course, I caught wind, huh?
What about your youngest daughter?
She got a college degree last weekend. She graduated last weekend. Yeah, she did. She did, which is nice. And I said to her, congratulations. But but it's not the Quran though. you know, I said to I said that's right. And I said to the boy, I said, listen, there's one thing that you're gonna have to make sure that you do before I see you, before you come here, before I see you. You make sure you get one surah together, because if I see you don't know that surah, you're gonna have a problem with me. And but granted, that's the surah of the cow, the surah of the cow, because the surahs in the Quran
Get a degree in.
so the surah of the cow is the one that I asked him to read. So when he comes, he's got to recite that. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem. And that's the surah after the opening, after the Fatiha, the surah right after that. That's what I told him. He's got to recite it. He was supposedly had mastered it before that, you know. But I told him, if you come here, you can't recite that entire
Got
surah.
it online?
No, he did it. Well, first of all, he did it at the school that Falak went to, the one I told you about. He did it there. He did it there. He recited. I mean, it was yeah. He got his. You know, he recited that entire surah. So you come here. I don't want to hear you forgot any of it. And that's his. You know, that's the practice. You got to practice your Quran. Otherwise, I mean, you know, you're not of me. Not what you're doing cannot be of me. I can't be any part of that. And so that's why I told the mother. I said, congratulations and everything, but that is not the Quran. Because I know for a fact the Quran is the Quran.
Online, do they have a graduation ceremony?
No, they didn't. I don't think it was online. I definitely believe that it was actually in person. So, you know, but I'm happy. You know, I'm glad. I'm happy about it because after all, that is an accomplishment. Uh, Again, I mean, what I'm most fascinated about is the Quran. It's just that simple. I don't think I mean, there should be any issues about that. I'm just saying. After all, it's a free country. You know, everybody's entitled. You have a right to your belief. I say congratulations, and actually, you know, I sent a present. You know, because that's nice too. Want to make them feel like they did accomplish something. You know, but it's not the Quran.
How about the oldest one?
She's finishing up. See, the younger one got her junior college degree. So she got a college degree, but the other one's working on her university degree. I believe she's about to graduate too. I think she graduates either this year or next year. She's going in for journalism. So I said she's joining a journalist career of journalism. So
Very good. I'm happy to hear it.
yes, I mean, of course, Granny. I told you. I mean, we got some good news lined up here. You know, we got some very good news lined up here for up north. Very important. You know, I mean, this is important of of keeping together. You know, what is righteous. You know, because to call and have a good word, you know, in itself is a good. You know, is a prime deed. You know, you don't call people to put loads on them. You call people to take loads off of them.
Their mother still working.
Hmm.
Their mother still working.
She's still, yeah. She's into nursing administration, medical administration, this type of title. They like these titles, you know. Some medical administration or coaching, something like that. Yeah, you know, it's you know, it's good on that side. You know, that's why I say everything is okay because I've entrusted everything to the one worthy of entrusting it to. You know, and there's no reflection on anybody else necessarily. You know, well, in some cases, I'm have to say it is, but needless to say that you know, when I was 17, I said what I said. I said, I don't know my father. I don't know my father, and this man who I believed would love me unconditionally has also rejected me. You, Lord, you've been my father. So I'm just going to count on you from now. And that's that. That's the reality. That's just how it is. You have to be wise, not just smart. After a while, smart gets old. You need to be wise and wiser and wiser, you know. So, and you know, believing is.
I
Hmm.
just hope the best for everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can't worry about
That's
no more.
that's what I said. I said that, and I said, let's just take the loads and give it to our Creator. He'll take care of it from there. And I remember you saying, you quoting, that He sits high but He sees low. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the same. When it talks about the oneness of the Creator, the ones that are in the Bible are in the Quran.
And what hurts even more, you say he's been here 30 years. And
Yes.
the day he spoke.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I understand. He actually came back in 90. He had to come back either 90 and 91. So it's actually 31 years. It has to be around 31 years. It's not just 30 years. So it's just a 1 year difference. Let's just stick with 30 for safe argument, or for, the better, giving the benefit of the doubt. But it's definitely been 30 years.
And
Definite.
he still is dead because he owes Janelle money.
Mm,
That's why he won't sign the divorce papers.
mm, mm, mm. Well, Umi did say,
He wants a divorce.
Umi
He's
did,
finished with
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see, I mean, she went on GoFundMe to get away from him. Who does
huh?
that? She went on a GoFundMe. You know what GoFundMe is? It's on the computer. And you set up a plea, and you beg people for money. That's what it is. You set up online and you tell people, like, what the situation is, and then people will donate. It's a
Uh-huh.
begging site. People raise money, for their cause on GoFundMe. But really, they should just accept the fact that it's begging. So she did that, or she had her kids do it, so to get away from him. She's broke. And you mean to tell me you got it made? Your family is over here setting up GoFundMe's, and you're saying that you got it made because you got $3,000 invested in the crash stock market. Stock market, by the way, didn't crash. The stock market no, it didn't crash. It took a dip. And it took a dip naturally, so, which it does so often anyway. But I'm saying that just to say that not everybody lost the same exact amount of money. You know, if you were vested into it with so much more than the one who wasn't invested to it that much, then you lost more than that person. It's just that simple. Just that simple.
So when they went on to get some money, did anybody give them any money?
Now that I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Actually, no, no, wait a minute. They did get money, because now I know. The one who told me, that's Rashid's widow, told me about the GoFundMe, and she said she herself donated. So there you go. At least one person I know. That's just the way it is. That's just the
He
way
got
it is.
that money from the retroactive money. He should have taken it and given Janelle her share of money, signed the papers, divorce papers, and that's it.
Don't worry, Granny. Don't worry. Again, we can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So, he's 50. He's been in America for 30 years. It's not by some mere coincidence or some, whatever, that he's done what he's done, and as he's done it. He's going to learn. Allah took care of this. He's going to take care of him too. He takes care of all of us, you know. And that's why, like, taking the responsibility from him is not right. That's what I will not, I mean, I don't see that to be the right thing to do. He should have done what he should have. He knows better what he was supposed to do. But again, we already established he neglects his responsibilities. That's not just me talking, but that's everybody saying the exact same thing. It can't be wrong. Hey, anyway, Granny, I better get going. I got something coming up.
Okay, dear.
All right, love you much.
Blessed day.
All right, you too. Bye bye.